about Kolchak?
Perry Reed, and this is Jane McManus.
She's the senior crime
I've
reporter?
been here 4 years.
Do you know how long I've covered crime?
The two of you are expected to get along.
It's my wife. Look at her left hand.
What is it?
I don't know, but she didn't have it before she died. It's the same marks here in Seattle, and again in Sacramento, and again and again. Something terrible is happening, but no one sees it because no one wants to. I drive the night, looking into the darkness where our fears reside, of things the mind dismisses, but the heart knows are real, evils that lie hidden in the blackness. I've seen these evils. They've taken my wife, pregnant with a child never to be born, leaving me haunted by questions about her strange death, and the deaths of so many others no one else dares to explain. So I drive, knowing we fear the night, not because it hides these evils, but rather because it reveals them.
This is really good, Brenda.
All I did was tighten it a little.
You recast my whole approach to the actuarials. It is so much better.
Thanks.
You're so nice to do this for me, staying late and all.
You want to get a drink or something?
I would, but I still got to do the cover letter. Who's that?
The janitor?
No, he already came and went. Hello? Nobody's supposed to be up here. I'll be right back. Is anybody here? There wasn't, Brenda? Brenda.
All units to a 187 at 2nd and Flower. 2 victims, cause of death unknown. All units to a 187 at 2nd.
Good morning.
Well, aren't you the early bird?
Night owl, actually. I gather you saw my story?
I did. Front page. Impressive. 2 victims, even.
Yeah, their bodies strangely desiccated, almost mummified. No one knows exactly how.
Yeah, I understand that, but your story says these people were murdered.
Well, I got that from a confidential source.
That's funny, because I just got off the phone with Detective Cuevas. He called me on my way into work this morning to tell me your story was wrong.
Really?
Why do I get the feeling you're laughing at me right now, Carl? This is serious.
And I take it seriously.
Setting aside the question of how someone could have killed people this way, security cameras don't show anyone else in that building last night.
So the police have concluded that no one could have been there to kill them.
Officially, they've concluded that they weren't murdered, but rather it was an accident. They were exposed to some sort of unidentified toxin.
A toxin.
Look, I just thought I'd come to you before going to Vincenzo.
Well, that's fair, and I appreciate it. But the police are wrong.
They're wrong.
Just because the security cameras didn't pick up the killer, it doesn't mean he wasn't there.
No, Kolchak, what it means
The
is...
victims were last seen 90 minutes before their bodies were found. I checked. There's no known toxin that can work that fast.
Are you sure?
Even if there was, why would only 2 people out of 3,000 in the building be exposed?
I don't know. But explain to me how a killer could have done this.
I can't. No one can. But someone preyed upon those people while they were alone in some big empty building where no one could hear their screams.
So you're saying, if there's a killer, he may take more victims?
I'm saying that's the story. If you're interested. You're bothered, aren't you?
By what?
But I got the story last night, not you.
I'd be happy for you, Kolchak, if it were right. How'd you find out about it anyway, listening to your police scanner?
You don't trust me, do you?
What?
You don't.
I never said that.
No, you didn't.
Want to tell me why you're just standing here?
Hey, you want to get the story right, don't you? Come on.
You're kidding me, right?
The police aren't just going to let us into their crime scene.
So you're sneaking in?
I'm not sneaking. I'm snooping.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Step inside, someone will see you.
It's called disturbing a crime scene. It's a felony.
Forensics have already been here. I think you're gonna want to see this.
What?
These marks show where the victims were. Now, the woman, Brenda Cook, she came in here, ran to the male victim, Jeremy Stickler, and they collapsed on the floor here.
None of which proves this was a homicide.
No. But what are these?
Third person.
His marks end here, though.
Did you find something?
Stain on the carpet.
Body fluids?
Yeah, it looks like some kind of gel. Ah!
What happened?
Ah, it burns.
Any details about the mysterious deaths of 2 office workers whose
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Isn't that your office?
They were at 2nd and Flower, I think.
Now a detective
Hmm?
says that as yet
I like working at night. I can hear myself think without the damn phone ringing all the time.
as Jeremy Steckler, 32 of Studio City, and a Brenda Cook,
Nothing.
34 of Glendale. These
Hold on a
bodies were
second,
found by
Linda.
a janitor early this morning.
Mark?
Gruesome discovery to our own
Mark?
Hello? Who's there?
Detective Cuevas, it's Perry Reed.
I thought you'd be calling.
Please don't tell me that the guy who died last night was killed by another sick building.
Maybe he was.
Come on, Detective, you gotta do better than that.
You think I'm lying to you?
What else am I supposed to think? You didn't tell me about the third set of footprints found at the first crime scene.
Well, it wasn't some mystery killer, if that's what you're thinking. As far as we can tell, they belong to the janitor who found the bodies.
What about the gel that was smeared on the floor?
How do you know about that?
Why don't you just tell me what it is?
I'll tell you all about it. If you let me buy you a drink tonight.
I'm not having a drink with you.
You are if you want to know why these people are dying.
Morning. What are these?
Follow up to Kolchak's exclusive, we hope.
Comparing the pictures I took of the crowd outside the crime scene last night to the crowd outside the first crime scene.
Looking for?
Killers often return to the scene to vicariously relive their crimes.
The same face shows up in both places. It could be him.
Either that or a very determined looky-loo.
In any case, it's worth a try.
Yeah. Kolchak, can I see you for a sec? There is no killer.
What makes you say that?
Because Detective Cuevas just told me everything the cops know.
How'd you get him to do that?
Don't ask. Are you familiar with diazinon?
Yeah, it's a pesticide.
Very powerful, very toxic, but approved for outdoor use only. Now, according to the police, janitorial crews used it illegally in both buildings for the past 6 months.
Bug spray?
It's the only connection between both crime scenes. They're running talk screens now.
Bug spray.
It's the story everyone's going with, and it's a lot more credible than some killer running around shriveling people.
Well, how do you explain this?
Their best guess right now is some other chemical that the janitor's been using. They're running tests. Oh, so what, the police are lying?
No, I think the police are wrong.
Somebody's wrong, all right. I need to know who your source is.
It's confidential.
The last time you had a confidential source, it turned out to be you.
Look, you have my word. It's genuine.
If I'm not gonna go to Vincenzo with this right now, I need a whole hell of a lot more than your word. I need to know you're right. Your source is the coroner?
Patience, grasshopper.
Jane said you made it to the crime scene before the cops did last night.
That's right.
How?
I sensed a disturbance and was led to the scene psychomagnetically.
You're joking, right?
Yes, I am. Now, I monitored the radio frequency used by private security firms. There was a 10 to 15 minute lag time before the cops showed, so I was there when they arrived.
Do you ever use the front door?
Not if I can help it.
So you're telling me your source is Alex Nyby?
Yeah, he's a legitimate source.
He's an orderly, Kolchak, an orderly that you bribed for information.
So?
Hasn't it occurred to you that he's just gonna keep on telling you what you want to hear to get more bribes?
There's that trust thing.
Trust thing?
Yeah, you have a problem with it. Other people must have told you.
I do not have a problem with trust, Kolchak. It just so happens that you're a very suspicious character. Oh my God. This is the man that died last night?
Mr. Mark Rothman, alleged victim of pesticide poisoning.
No, man, it's not there.
His throat's abraded just like the others.
What do you mean, just like the others?
Nyby found abrasions on the throats of the first 2 victims as well.
Then why didn't the coroner rule these deaths a homicide?
Look, they're abrasions, for sure. But there's just none of the internal bleeding you find in strangulation cases.
Oh, so you're saying that they were strangled, but not strangled.
Exactly.
You said you had something for me?
Yes, I do. Does that look familiar?
That's the same stuff that burned your finger.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Where'd you get it from?
Well, they scraped traces of it off this guy's neck here, and I stole it for you.
Thanks, Alex.
No problem. Ooh, wait a minute. Aren't you, forgetting something?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what, more Laker tickets?
Ballet, actually.
The ballet?
Yes. The, Bolshoi.
The Bolshoi? I'm trying to get tickets to that.
Really? So I hear.
I can't believe you like the ballet.
Well, I don't.
No.
What am I supposed to do with these now?
Okay, so I'm just thinking out loud here, but your idea is what exactly, Kolchak? That someone grabbed these people's necks with this jelly on their hands.
Possibly.
And that idea doesn't seem, I don't know, insane?
No more insane than the idea that those people died from bug spray.
Any idea why this guy would target people in office buildings?
No, not yet.
I saw you look for the mark on that body back there.
Yeah, I haven't found it on any of the victims.
Yeah, and why would you? What possible connection could those deaths have to your wife?
I told you. I think these strange deaths are connected somehow.
How?
I don't know.
But these people, they shouldn't be dying. Not this way.
Dr. Messenger.
Yes.
This is Earl Kolchak. He's a colleague of mine.
Hi.
Hi. How can I help you?
Perry said your specialty is biochemistry and that you've helped her before in the past.
Yeah, well, I'm the chair of the department here.
Well, we hoped you might be able to analyze this substance for us.
Kolchak got some in his finger.
Yeah, it burned my skin, but not the carpet where I found it.
Ah, well, that's interesting. Where'd you get the sample from?
We found it on the neck of a homicide victim.
Homicide victim? How'd you get a hold of it?
We can't reveal our sources.
I'll tell you what. I'm not interested in blindly serving someone else's agenda. So if you can't tell me where you got the sample from...
You've heard about the bodies found downtown, right?
Yeah, I heard about it on the radio. Pesticide poisoning, wasn't it?
Does that look like a pesticide to you?
I think the authorities can solve this case without your help.
Yeah, maybe they will eventually. But 3 people in the last 2 days have died. I mean, until someone finds out why, more people are going to be murdered.
Shocking assault on an office worker tonight. Authorities say the man was attacked in the Hope Street office building downtown and survived. No details have been released yet, but police say that the victim suffered major burns around his neck area.
The victim's been sedated, but he told the police he was attacked by someone who grabbed his throat.
Just got off the phone with Cuevas.
Is he acknowledging a connection to the other deaths?
Not officially, but at least he's not talking bug spray anymore.
Where's McManus?
At the hospital. He's trying to find out about this guy's condition.
Just spoke with the chief of police. He said they've questioned everybody with access to that building. Security guards, janitorial crews.
But no suspects.
The question is why? If this is the same killer who attacked the other people, why isn't the victim dead already?
I can keep the front page open 2 more hours.
Hot day?
Let's just say I'm happy to be here.
I'm touched.
Dominique Messenger.
Hi, it's Carl Kolchak and Perry Reed.
I thought you'd be calling. I just saw it on the news.
Could that man have been exposed to the substance we gave you?
Well, if he was, I don't know how he survived. Are you near a computer? I swabbed this rat's throat with a tiny amount of the gel you left. These images were taken over the next 2 minutes.
Oh my God. What happened?
Mummified mouse.
In a manner of speaking, yes. The rat was completely dehydrated.
How?
That gel's a synthetic compound, a super astringent of some kind, like witch hazel. Concentrated 10,000 times. It draws all the water from the body.
Okay, but then where is it?
What do you mean?
Well, if this gel is drawing water from these people's bodies, there should be puddles left behind, right?
Something must have absorbed it.
I think it was someone. The man who probably got exposed to this super astringent somehow. Like a chemical plant or something.
And now he's drinking people up.
Right.
With his hands.
Right.
And he'd be doing this why?
I think he needs this.
Then he wouldn't stop.
No. He wouldn't stop. Not unless someone stopped him. You can't take that out. That explains what killed these people.
Gel found on one victim's neck, but not on the others.
A synthetic compound his body secretes through his hands. And we did find it at the first crime scene on the floor.
That doesn't mean that's what killed these people.
That explains what the compound does.
It strips people's bodies of water. You know how ludicrous that sounds?
Yes, I do.
And if this killer wants to drink water with his hands, why don't he stick them under a faucet? Okay. Run that.
All it says now is that the police believe these deaths are homicides. It's a non-story.
The next time, bring me something I can print.
He's right, you know.
What do you mean he's right?
We don't have the story.
A killer's on the loose.
Yeah, but we don't have the story.
Predators out there. The longer we're silent, the more people will die.
Then we need to find out where this compound came from and how he got exposed to it.
You want to catch this guy? We need to answer my question. Why did this last victim survive?
How'd it go?
Snuck past hospital security, but they bounced me before I get to the victim's room.
What do you got?
Pictures of the hallway?
I told you they kicked me out.
Wait, stop. Go back. Yep, stop. Can you blow it up?
Yeah.
These meds are going to our victim, right?
Right.
Can you read that?
The label in the IV bag?
I think I can. Thiamine and folate.
How the hell? Who are you calling?
My father, he's a doctor. Hey, Dad, it's me, Perry. Hope I didn't wake you. Now, I have a question. Why would you prescribe thiamine and folate to an inpatient?
I don't get it. What's his IV bag gonna tell us?
Well, if the cops won't tell us why this guy survived, his medication might.
Great, thanks. There are multivitamins used to treat alcoholics for malnourishment.
So the hospital's treating this man for alcoholism?
Evidently.
What does his being an alcoholic have to do with why he survived?
Yeah, maybe nothing.
SS 241 to 668 North Los Cienega. Residents pick up. Rider will be waiting on the street.
Thanks so much for coming. I was afraid to walk back to my car. I ended up calling, but I heard about these people being killed.
anything?
I've called every chemical company in 7 western states. No luck. What about you?
A theory. I did some research on alcoholism. You ever hear of hypomagnesia?
It's Latin, not enough magnesium.
Okay, in addition to malnourishment, alcoholics commonly suffer from it. Not enough magnesium results in a severe electrolyte imbalance.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
What if that's why this last victim survived and the others didn't? Because as an alcoholic, his body didn't have what the killer needed.
Electrolytes? Okay, so why didn't he just go crazy in this sports drink aisle at the supermarket then?
He could, unless it's not electrolytes themselves he's after, but the minerals in our body that carry them.
Like magnesium?
Could explain not only why this last victim survived, but why the killer doesn't go after people living on the streets who'd make much easier prey.
He needs healthy victims. I don't know, I mean, it makes sense if I squint real hard.
These from the 3rd crime scene?
Jane just put those up. You're disappointed, aren't you, Carl?
About what?
The explanation for why the killer's doing this. Whatever it is, it's scientific, medical. You thought it was something supernatural, something you could connect back to whatever killed your wife. Kolchak?
It's been right in front of us the whole time.
What?
It's not a face in the crowd, but outside it. This security guard here, here, and here.
What you're forgetting is the cops already questioned the guards who worked in those buildings.
It's the same guard in all 3 crime scenes. I mean, what if he worked for the security firm but wasn't assigned to any of those buildings?
Can I help you?
I'm Carl Kolchak. This is Perry Reed and Jane McManus. We're from the Beacon.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Corey, the manager. Could you stop taking pictures, please?
Yeah, we need to confirm the name of a guard you employ. This man?
I'm sorry, our personnel records are confidential. I said please stop.
Guess we write the story anyway.
I guess so.
How do you spell Corey? Is that with or without an E?
What story?
About your firm's hiring practices?
Lack of screening?
Employing a convicted felon to guard an unsuspecting public?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The man in this photo was convicted of 2nd-degree murder and armed robbery.
We already know his name.
Tony Vincenzo.
So it really wouldn't be violating any confidentiality rules by just checking your records.
We only need to confirm it's the same Tony Vincenzo.
I really can't do that.
Guess you're right. We'll just have to run the story anyway.
Well, unless your records contradict our information about who this man is.
In which case, we'd be glad to drop the whole thing. His name is Warren Priest from Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, if that's his real name.
I don't get why he even bothers holding down a job. I mean, if he's killing these people, why not just take their money, too?
Access. You can get passcodes, find out where all the cameras are, slip in and out without ever being detected.
Fox guard in the hen house.
That's where he lives?
That's where his paychecks go.
But where are you going?
I'm going in.
It's illegal.
Battling evil excess is good. Strictly like a brand.
Sounds more like Donald Rumsfeld.
We should call the police.
He'll do what? We have no proof other than his picture.
We can't just break in.
This guy's killed 3 people in the last 4 days. What if he needs to feed to stay alive? You want to give him time to kill again?
Tell me you're not gonna break the lock.
Nope. Give me a lift.
Can we turn the lights on?
No, he might come back. Okay.
So what are we looking for?
Anything that connects this man to the murders.
This is interesting.
Looks like our security guard gets around.
Can't stay in one place too long.
Hello?
Oh my God.
Guess this is the right place.
He's here.
How do we get out of here?
That way. Okay, we're dead.
Hold up!
you feeling?
Thirsty.
We've been working on the story.
Have you?
Yeah, we think we have our killer's real name. Bernard Faru, Lordsburg, New Mexico. Released on disability a year ago from his job as a security guard at an industrial vinyl chloride plant.
I take it they used astringents at the plant.
Before he went missing, he claimed to have inhaled it for 6 months from a leak in the ventilation system.
Of course, the company denied his claims.
So we've nothing but his allegations, no proof.
I've referred the information to Detective Cuevas all the same.
What about the other bodies we found?
Some were women he'd been called to escort home.
And the others? What? What is it?
There's something else, Kolchak. Something we were hoping that you could explain.
I took it at the warehouse. Pretty sure she was the only one that had it. We already checked. She didn't have that mark before she died.
How can that be?
I don't know.
There are evils that live amongst us, hidden behind walls, lurking in dark shadows. Open your eyes and you'll see them, but be careful you don't open them too wide. For once you've seen the darkness, the fear of it remains a part of you.